Hi guys, and welcome to my weekly new video. I have kind of a different setup today because I'm still on vacation. And yeah, so looks a bit different. I'm wearing another mask. Just to be clear, I don't have a dog stereotype. I just made this mask and it's really comfortable. So yeah, that's why. It's also like my second mask, so the snout and shape is not exactly how I want it to be, but I guess I'll make a new one soon. Anyway, today's subject will be how everyone can benefit from having an ESSA. In the ESSA community, we talk a lot about customizing, bonding and showing off our companions. But today I want to zoom out. I want to talk about why everyone, yes, everyone, can benefit from having an ESSA in their life. Not just collectors, not just kids, not just people who need comfort. I mean every single human being. When I was younger, before I even knew that ESSAs were a thing, I had a dog plush that was basically my safe space. It wasn't Logan or James or Bean, they all came later, but that plush. It saw the best and the worst of me. Back then, I thought it was just my thing, this little ritual of hugging something soft when I felt anxious or sad, but years later, I learned there's actually a reason why people of all ages do this. It's something psychologists call a comfort object, which is a physical thing that helps you regulate your emotions and ground yourself, and also feel safe. Now, if you've seen my How to Bond with Any ESSA video, you know I believe ESSAs are more than just a plush. They're companions with personality. But there's a thing, even if you never customize them, never give them a name and never think of them as alive, they still have benefits for you. And what we're going to explore, and that's what we're going to explore in this series. So let's talk about the ESSA effect, as I like to call it. Scientists have actually studied why humans get attached to certain objects, and it turns out it's not just about age or immaturity, it's about how our brains are wired and to seek stability and comfort. Here's the short version. When you touch something soft, your body releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that makes you feel connected to people you love. That's why hugging Logan after a stressful day can genuinely make my shoulders drop and my breathing slow down. It's not all in your head. Well, technically it is in your head, but it's also in your bloodstream, in your heart rate, and in your nervous system. If you've been on my channel for a while, you've met all my ESSAs, I think. Logan, the dependable German Shepherd. He's sturdy, grounded, and feels like the kind of friend who will just sit with you in silence when you need it. Then we have James, my serious but lovable husky. He's like that one friend who always gives you the look when you're being dramatic, but still gives you a hug anyway. And we have Little Bean, my goofy non-binary opossum who seems to exist solely to make me laugh. Honestly, they're so just look at them. What's wild is that I use them differently depending on my mood. If I'm feeling anxious, I grab Logan. If I'm deep in thought or feeling lonely, I hang out with James. If I need a pick-me-up, Bean's chaotic little grin fixes it instantly. Well, not instantly, because, yeah, I have some issues, people, like most. And that's one of the hidden truths of ESSAs. The benefit isn't just softness, it's personality and the meaning you give to them. Why this isn't just for kids. Let's get this myth out of the way right now. You're too old for that. This is one of the most harmful ideas floating around, that comfort objects are somehow shameful after a certain age. It's rooted in the false beliefs that emotional regulation is something we should be able to do entirely on our own. But here's the reality. Even adults use comfort objects. For some people, it's a favorite hoodie. For others, it's a blanket from childhood, a piece of jewelry from a loved one, or yes, an ESSA. The difference is that adults often hide theirs, because society doesn't always give permission to be openly comforted by something soft and non-judgmental like a stuffed animal. Okay, so here's a little story time. When Bean first came into my life, I didn't expect much. It was more of like, I'll get free shipping when I ordered them. I thought, well, this is just another plush for the collection. But the first time I had a bad day and Bean happened to be just laying around on my desk, I picked them up and just helped them. And they seemed to look at me and just think, well, I'm here, it's alright. And that really, really helped me. That moment taught me something important. You don't grow out of needing comfort. You just get better at pretending you don't need it. ESSAs is an emotional anchor. Think of your ESSA as an anchor in stormy waters. When life gets chaotic, deadlines, arguments, bad news, your mind starts to drift. An ESSA can be the thing that brings you back to the present. It's a reminder that you're safe now. You can breathe. I'm here with you. It's gonna be okay. It's not magic. It's psychology. Your brain builds an association between your ESSA and the feeling of being okay and being safe. The more often you experience calmness while holding them, the stronger that link becomes. That's why for me, Logan's weight in my arms is like muscle memory for it's okay now. I know there are many people around, there's someone yelling, but you can just focus on me now. It's okay. Okay. Now we're going to break down the specific benefits ESSAs bring to people at different stages of life, from little children to elderly adults, and how you can tap into those benefits no matter your age. So, if you've ever felt judged for having an ESSA, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have the science, the stories, and maybe even a little bit of courage to proudly say, yeah. This is my ESSA, and it helps me more than you think. Okay, so the first stage of life is obviously being a kid. If you look at most childhood photos, you'll notice something in the background. A blanket, a teddy bear, stuffed animals. For kids, stuffed animals are more than just soft toys. They're transitional objects. That's a psychology term for something that helps a child move from total dependence on their parents to independence. It's not just cute, it's a survival tool for the emotional brain. When a child hugs their plushie at night, they're learning, I can feel safe when mom and dad aren't right here next to me. That skill, self-soothing, is something they'll carry for life. It's very important for a child's well-being and their success later in life. I've seen this with my younger cousins. One of them had like this small, really just this small hugged to death plush fox that they took everywhere with them. My uncle and aunt worried that they got too attached to something that wasn't actually real. But actually, research shows that kids who have a strong connection to a comfort object often develop a better emotional regulation later on. Now, for the second stage in life. In teenage years, they can be like stability in the storm. Because, let's be real, being a teenager is like living in a weather system that changes every 5 minutes. One day you're confident, the next day you're doubting everything. An ESSA during this time isn't just nostalgia. It's an anchor to a part of yourself that isn't changing every 5 seconds. When friendship shifts, when school gets overwhelming, and when your identity feels like a puzzle, your ESSA is constant. It's always there and dependable. There's also a confidence factor. Some teens feel they have to hide their ESSA to seem grown up, but the ones who don't, they often feel more secure with themselves because they're not afraid to hold on to what actually matters to them and what helps them. Third stage, in adulthood. This is the part most people don't talk about. Once you're an adult, no one is handing you comfort anymore. You have to build it yourself. Work, deadlines, rent, relationships, there's no bedtime story at the end of the day, unless you make one. An ESSA gives you something tangible to reset your nervous system. You can't hug a text message, you can't just snuggle with a Zoom call, but you can hug Logan, James, or Bean. And your body doesn't care that they're fabric, it still reacts with calm. There's also the mental load adults carry. Sometimes you don't even realize when you're stressed until you sit down and you feel your shoulders drop. It's like your body says, "Oh, we're safe now. I can stop feeling stressed because my little companion is here." Now, let's fast forward to later in life. ESSAs can be a surprising source of comfort for older adults, especially those living alone or in care homes. Soft companions can spark reminiscence therapy, a technique used in dementia care where familiar objects help trigger positive memories. Imagine an older person picking up an ESSA and remembering the dog they used to have as a child, or a trip they took. It's not just cute, it's neurological and powerful. For example, in a few weeks before I made this video, I worked at a store where we also sold many like semi-realistic plushies, and this elderly gentleman walked up to me with this cute puppy. It was like a beagle-like plush, and I was like, "Hey sir, good day, is it a present?" And he just looked at me with the biggest smile on his face and he said, "No, this one is just for me." That's just very wholesome to me, honestly. Across all these stages, childhood, teenage years, adulthood, and older age, the role of an ESSA shifts, but the essence stays the same. They are a steady, non-judgmental presence in a world that changes too much and too fast. Whether you're learning to self-soothe as a toddler or decompressing after a brutal workday, that simple act of holding something familiar tells your nervous system you are safe. So now we're getting to the end of this video, and the bottom line is, you don't need to be going through a crisis to benefit from having an ESSA. It's not about weakness, it's about giving yourself an emotional resource before you need it. It's like having an umbrella. You don't buy one when it's pouring. You keep it ready so that when the storm comes, you're covered. Honestly, James, Bean, nor Logan We all don't care how old you are, and neither should you. You don't need a reason to get an ESSA. It can help anyone. So feel free to send this video to anyone who's interested in maybe getting one. It might really help them. So yeah, that's this week's video. Stay wild.